The fastest way to get your first virtual wholesaling or real estate deal. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly the fastest, quickest way with zero money at all, like $0. Like you're broke, you got no money, there's nothing in your bank account. You want to get some paper, you live anywhere in the world. You can live in Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, North America, anywhere. If you have an internet connection and no money, that's all you have, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get properties under contract, then flip that paper for 10, 15, 20, heck, even $30,000. Guys, I can tell you right now, I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in just virtual wholesaling real estate. I am literally selling paper, guys, and I can show you exactly right now in this video how you can do the same thing in your own wholesaling real estate business. And the fastest and most effective way for you to do this so you can have wholesaling real estate success. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm going to show you exactly everything you need to know about this and exactly how you can get your first wholesaling real estate deal virtually from anywhere. But before I get into it, guys, in this live stream. So how to get your first virtual wholesaling real estate deal with the $0 method, my super secret method that nobody ever wants to talk about. There's actually, let me tell you, there's going to be 4 fundamental secrets I'm going to reveal in this video. And these are going to be 4 fundamental secrets that no other real estate wholesaling guru is really going to tell you. And I'm extremely confident that these 4 secrets, I would probably say 99.9% of gurus, because obviously I don't go to their stupid masterminds or watch their live streams. But what I can tell you is, or the recorded videos, like I don't see all of them, obviously, because there's probably 4 gurus built every single day, right? Like there's a million of them. So I can't guarantee every single one I see. But what I honestly can tell you, though, is I'm going to give you the secret that you definitely haven't heard of today. And there's 4 fundamental truths, 4 fundamental secrets. And I'm excited for it today. So before we break it down, guys, hit that like button, subscribe. What I'm going to do is just do one check of the audio, making sure that everything's going, because if I do this whole video and y'all can't hear me, that would really upset me. So, geez, I sound amazing. Woo! As they say in Step Brothers, I have the voice of Fergie mixed with Shakira. No, Fergie mixed with, who's a good singer? Michael Bublé. I forgot that quote, but I love that movie. But all right, so let's break it down. Let's just break down my secret. So there are 4 fundamental secrets when you are behind your computer in virtual wholesaling, the fastest way, no money to get your first wholesaling real estate deal. So let's talk about the first one. Gurus never talk about this, and this is the one I talk about the most. So we're going to get the most obvious one off the books. This is the one that everyone's like, oh my gosh, Zach, like I've heard about this like a million times. This is like ridiculous, but it's true. These are secret number one, the Zillow for sale by owners. Now, you might just be watching this and be like, Zach, you literally talk about the Zillow for sale by owners so much. You talk about it all the time. You go live twice, 3, sometimes weekly, just cold calling Zillow for sale by owners doing deals. And why do I say this? Guys, I'm so focused. I have such tunnel vision for so many beginners to start calling Zillow for sale by owners for 2 main reasons, okay? And if you really look at it, it's like Karate Kid, right? So I think a lot of people, they might see the new Karate Kid, right? They might see like Cobra Kai, and they might like, everyone sees the old Karate Kid movies, and they're like, why is this guy doing the wax on, wax off? This is step 1 why I tell them to do Zillow for sale by owners. Like, this isn't kung fu, this isn't karate. Like, how is this going to make me any better, right? And the truth is, it's kind of funny, but like, that movement will actually help you in karate, or heck, it'll even teach you discipline at that point. Doing that little wax on, wax off thing will eventually make you a better person in karate, right? Like it'll just make you a better martial artist if you really look at that, right? And when I was doing a lot of training, I don't talk about too much of jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, but mainly in wrestling, we did a lot of these trainings. This isn't like wrestling, like this isn't going to teach me, and it eventually helps me do it, right? So I'm getting on a tangent here, but like I tell everyone to do Zillow for sale by owners, and a lot of people do it and they're like, that's not wholesaling, that's the wax on, wax off approach, but it really is, where you're just having conversations with people that want to sell the property. That is all you're doing. You are having conversations with people that want to sell their property for cash. That is all you're doing in wholesaling real estate. We're having conversations so people have their property listed for sale by owner. That is what they're doing. Now, we know this, and what I found out from this, and this is pretty obvious, but if you do this, you will actually give offers. And because you can give offers out, it's going to, first of all, destroy all the self-doubt you have that you can't cold call. Because I have given everybody, they have one rule of if you suck or not at cold calling. Have you made 1,000 cold call contacts? Yes or no? I haven't found one person that sucks at cold calling, like absolutely sucks at it, like terrible, that has done thousands of calls and actually talking to people. They don't. Why is this? Because they have the experience. And with giving offers out here, it destroys your self-doubt that you can't do something. I think a lot of people know this, and a lot of people have seen this, but like human beings are so much stronger than we think we really are. And the power of our mind's insane. And so when you start getting that experience on there, when you go to the other parts and the other secrets of virtual wholesaling, once you start giving offers and getting contracts, Zillow for sale by owners, getting really good discounts and learning the art of lowballing, once you go on to the other lists, it makes it a lot easier. On top of that too, this is something Kobe Bryant really did. And this is something I really love. Michael Jordan said this too. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, they have so many similarities. It's crazy. But I think they both won 5 championships too, if I'm not mistaken, just thinking about it just off my head right here. But I'm pretty sure they won the same championships. I could be wrong there, so correct me if I'm wrong. But I can tell you right now that when Kobe and Michael Jordan practiced, they both said this, that I know Michael Jordan 100% said this, but they make practice harder than the actual game. So when the game actually was on the line, this is even easier than practice. Like this is nothing, right? It's actually easier to play in the game that is in practice. Now you don't get yourself hurt or anything like that. And we had a lot of that when I was doing a lot of sports in high school. But like what I could tell you is I made that my thing when it came to wholesaling, right? And so if you deal with the hardest list in wholesaling real estate, right? Door knocking, pre-foreclosure sellers, going out here and cold calling, Zillow for sale by owners, getting your teeth knocked in, lowballing, going through all that. Once you get to an easier seller, it's not that difficult because you go through the strain and the adversity of Zillow for sale by owners, you'll be good to go. So this is why Zillow is number one, the secret, because you got no money. It's super fast and efficient. Within 2 hours, you get a property under contract and get a deal locked up. I love Zillow for sale by owners. Now, number 2, this is a really big one. And this is secret number 2. Now, this stuff the gurus do not want you to know. This is the big hush hush thing. This is the stuff that nobody talks. All right. This is called the partner up and D for D method. This is it. Now, this is a method that I can't say I made it, I patented it, I was the creator of, but I definitely made it a lot bigger. And whatever guru can say they invented it, Driving for Dollars no one really invented that. But what I can tell you right now is if you're in virtual wholesaling and I'm like, hey, you should go Drive for Dollars. And they all say, oh, that's easier for you to say. You know, I'm in, Ghana or something like that. And I can't drive for dollars in Detroit or Atlanta. What do I do? Zach always says drawing for dollars are some of the best ones and reverse drawing for dollars, right? Like, what do I do? And the honest truth here is you don't have to be the one drawing for dollars to get drawing for dollars leads. If you can partner up and find somebody in that market and you can actually be partners in the situation, not like partners for every single deal, obviously, but for all the deals that person brings in, you can get an army of people. And what do I always talk about? The most powerful part of how I was able to scale my wholesaling real estate business is scale so many wholesaling businesses in so many markets is the power of one thing. It's called leverage, right? And so there are Zach clones out here in Atlanta, South Carolina, Georgia, northwestern parts of Florida, right? South Florida, Michigan, that are actually, they go through my entire process. They're under, I own these companies and they cold call, lock up deals and virtually wholesale there. They're using my processes. Like I'm the boss there, but like I'm not the one cold calling. I'm not the one locking up these deals. I'm not the one finding cash buyers, but it's the power of leverage, right? Guys, you see this firsthand, right? Like Steve Jobs wasn't out here making iPhones. He had other people make iPhones for him. And we're not going to break down the labor of that, but like Jeff Bezos isn't going to your door and delivering packages, right? Like he has people do them for him. And when you make that into a bigger scale, you can start leveraging your time. And that's how the rich really get rich. Henry Ford really made his money off of making his assembly line system where he wasn't making cars, but he found a way to have people make cars at such cheap rates and so effective that it was so insane. He was making a ton of money with that. And so the power of this is the partner up drive for dollars method, where you This only works in certain parts. So like, this is a really important part. If you are virtually wholesaling, you have to have the speed advantage because you don't have you have a disadvantage with your location. So you must have an advantage to offset your disadvantage. If you have a disadvantage, you must create an advantage to offset them, right? That is the most important part. So if you are disadvantaged with your location, right? You can't meet the seller in person. What's your big advantage? Your big advantage is going to be your speed. And on top of that, you can create two advantages, which is going to destroy your competition in that local market, which is the speed advantage. And hopefully number two is the acquisitions advantage. So why can I go out here and cold call Zillow for sale owners and destroy people in local markets? First of all, I have a speed advantage. I'm not local. But number two is I'm really good on the phones and I'm really good at acquisitions because I do it a lot. And that's two advantages. But what's the other disadvantage I have in virtual wholesaling, huh? The location. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip that location disadvantage over into my advantages because now, roll it up. Guess what? My partner's now locally there. So I have all three advantages. Now I can destroy the local wholesalers there, right? This is a big secret of virtual wholesaling real estate. So I have people trying for dollars in Atlanta right now. I don't live in Atlanta. I love Atlanta, still family members there, but I don't have family members there. I got people I hire to drive for dollars there. And then those leads get sent in and cold called from my team. You know why I do this? Because that list of driving for dollars in Atlanta, Fulton County, that area is so much more powerful than me buying a list. I don't care what list to use or what, like I love the high equity list. I love texting them. I love vacants, but like the driving for dollars list is a list you have to earn. You can't buy that list. You have to earn it. And because you have to earn this list, it is so stinking powerful, guys and gals, because your competition can't get that list. I don't care how much money you got. You don't got that list. And your sellers don't care how much money you have. It's you solving problems and actually creating solutions. So if you're really good, if you're so good at talking to sellers, and I got a lot of people I talk on the one-on-ones, like Zach, virtual market. You know, I had one guy, he was in Africa, and he's like, Zach, you know, he's like, I don't know what to do, all these things. I said, all right, go find somebody to drive for dollars. Scratch that. Let me actually talk about one really cool example. We had Dylan. So Dylan is in St. Pete. So shout out to Dylan. I don't forget faces. Dylan's got an amazing story. He went from basically nothing to six figures. A lot of struggle in between that, but needed a lot of help. But he really got there. I give all the glory to him on it. But like, I remember one example where he was struggling driving for dollars, and I told him this strategy, and this was because I was testing out in the infancy. I said, find 4 guys and gals to drive for dollars for you in Atlanta. I'm telling you, Dylan, even when he wasn't doing any deals, he was really good on the phones. He was really good at talking to sellers, and he was really good at building rapport. That guy was very good at it. And now he figured out the other part and boom, built his business up like crazy. Shout out to Dylan. I think a lot of people remember him here, but so guess what he did? He had 4 people drive for dollars in his market. And these people you find, they're very shy. They're not that experienced. They're not comfortable talking to sellers, but they know enough where they can go in their car and look for ugly houses. But they didn't feel good enough to go out here and close sellers. What they did, he had 4 people full-time drive for dollars for free. And then Dylan would lock up the deal, do all the work, find the buyer, and he gave half to them. He literally had 4 people, and he paid them half, but he had basically 2 full-time people doing it because he paid half, doing deal finding for him. And that was insane, right? And so you actually have the advantage. So what did I say? So you can't drive for dollars. Disadvantage. How do I offset that disadvantage? Have somebody else drive for dollars for me. But what if you have 2 people in that market to drive for dollars for you? Oh, shoot. What do you think that means? Now you have the advantage because you have double the people driving for dollars in Houston than the other wholesaler you're competing with. It's insane, right? And so I challenge you, if you're locally wholesaling, find people in your market that are really new. They don't know anything in wholesaling, or they want to get started. Tell them, hey, get in your car, look in these areas, look for ugly houses. Give me a list of those ugly houses and I'll pay you half the deal. Do it on a handshake, because if you're a follower of me, you have respect of what I say, and you respect me as a human being. I will take it that you, hopefully, this is Scout's honor, will be a man or woman of your word. And if you tell someone you're going to pay them half for the deal, you stinking pay them half. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care if you get a $500,000 deal. If you make a handshake agreement, you honor that agreement. Your word and your reputation is the most important thing possible, okay? So you go to these people, you do handshake agreements. Hey, I will pay you half. They give you a list, you close the deal, get the check, give them half, or make sure the check half goes out to them. You do like 3 or 4 deals, but remember, if you're in a bigger market, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Miami, like Charlotte, like a decent population, I'm telling every single person, if you are good at doing deals or good enough, you can find people to at least 5 to 10 people drive for dollars for you. At least get 12 hours driving for dollars. Because to JV or kind of partner up on here, remember, you have to bring something to the table and then somebody else has to bring something to the table of usual equal value. And so it's kind of like what I JV, right? What's something that's really valuable? Finding a really hot lead. What else can you give? Not much. You can't close sellers, got no experience. You could fumble the deal. And then I'm really good at closing sellers. That's a good advantage right there. Like that's boom. That's perfect, right? And so that's something really cool a lot of people can start doing. And this is stuff nobody wants to talk about. Oh, I can't make money off of this, so I'm a guru. I'm not going to talk about this, right? And so it works really well. And so why do you do this, right? And so how do you do this? So number one, you're on YouTube, right? You are, I personally think that people watching this and people watching on the Rick Ginn lives and the Flip of the Rick lives, I think they're pretty cool people. That's just my opinion. Hey, that's just, I think they're learning from a pretty smart dude. And I'm not saying that like egotistical or anything, but like, I'm just saying, like, I think you're listening to some pretty good wholesaling info. Just ain't gonna lie. And so if you're in a group right now, which you're watching on the live stream on the YouTube channel, you're listening to a group of people that are listening to a really good wholesaler spitting just straight facts. They ain't guru. You ain't in the guru game. Because remember, guys, gurus will screw you out of a lot of things, a lot of money. Hopefully we don't have broke mindsets. That's pretty cool. And guess what you're gonna do? Be someone like, Howard. Howard, I'm in Philly. If anyone's in this market, find a way, right? Now, I wouldn't trust everybody, right? But make sure that you guys can hopefully find a way to trust someone, sign paperwork, JV agreements, whatever you can. But like, go in the comments. Guys, I have a huge Facebook group. It's called Wholesaling Houses for Real. We're at 87,000 people. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of people on there. Maybe you might not be able to make a post on it, but you can make comments. You can see people in other markets. You can really DM people. You can really do stuff like that. I'm telling you, it's very powerful. It'll do very well, guys and gals. I'm telling you, it is amazing. All right. And so let's go to the next one here. This is cold call niche lists. Guys, I can tell you that most wholesalers watching this video right now, they are not cold calling niche lists enough. And what do I mean by this? Here's a big secret. No guru is going to tell you about a niche list. They all not. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll make money off of you, sign up for PropStream, and hey, I do that too. But like, that's the only list they're going to tell you. Here's a list I can make money off of, right? Like they gurus. Like, what else do you expect? They ain't going to tell you to do code violations. They ain't going to tell you to do water shutoffs. They ain't going to tell you to do probates. They ain't going to tell you to do that stuff, right? Like that would actually make you money, right? Like that, we got to make you in the whole guru cycle. And I got to make a chart of the guru cycle where it's like you get excited, you get pumped up, you sign up for the free thing, and then from there get really excited, and then you get kind of confused, and then you get in the rat race until you get so confused that you get flown into their paid course, right? That's how the gurus work, and I got to expose it one day, but it's insane. But you've got to understand that if you can find the most niche of the niche lists, right? And this is being said, the more niche the list, the better it's going to be. And this is for most things, right? And so when you really look at it, there's going to be less competition there, and that's just going to make it way better. And so why do you think if I go to a more niche basketball court, I'm more likely to win? And what do I mean by that? So if I go to like, Brooklyn, there's some ballers in Brooklyn, I'll tell you that. If I go to a regular gameplay pickup, I'm probably going to get my butt whooped. But if I go to like, outskirts of somewhere in Minnesota, not a lot of people, and I play against people that, not big of a population, and I'm decent at basketball, I'm going to do a lot better, right? And it's more niched out. And I don't know if the best example possible, but like, you got to think about that for a second, right? And so if you cold call niche lists, like a code violation, liens, you mix it with like high equity or something crazy like that, probates, that's going to be the fastest way to get your first deal, because your competition's not cold calling it. They're less likely to hang up on you. They're not going to get inundated with wholesalers, and realtors don't pull this list because they don't know how to. It's the best way to get your first deal. And I firmly believe that. Now, what's a better one than that? Obviously, drawing for dollars, because that's even more niche. But it's powerful, guys and gals. And I really think so many people are missing out on it. Because if you actually go out here and start cold calling niche lists, and you really like spend a lot of time getting the right list, the evictions, everything like that, SMS text blasting them, you will get so many more deals. I just feel like so many wholesalers don't know this. And I go live streams even on a Sunday like this just to tell you, just to show you, right? And just, it's sad that only me and Rick can talk about this. I don't know why no one else wants to ever talk about this, but it's so powerful. And so this leads me to the fourth secret. And I want everybody to understand this. And actually, no, this is still the third secret. Okay, I'm not going to spoil the fourth secret yet. Okay, but let's talk about this. Everyone cares about ROI, but nobody ever talks about ROT. So what's the best ROI? The best ROI on marketing for virtual wholesaling is direct mail. Sorry, the best ROI is definitely drawing for dollars or Zillow for sub-owners door knocking, because it costs zero. What's the best return on T? So everybody talks about ROI, but nobody's talking about ROT, return on time. So what is ROI? ROI is how much money you put into something, how much money you get back. Obviously, you do free methods, you get the money back, so it's great. But I could spend 100 hours door knocking for no money and I'm going to get a deal. I will get a deal, but it's the best return on my time now. So the best return on my time, excuse me for what I said before, is direct mail, right? I could drop 15 grand on direct mail, get a deal really quick. Is that the best return on my money? So again, there's a mix. Like, what gives me the best return on my time? What gives me the best return on my income? It's one or the other for people. Most gurus only care about ROI, right? Because they want to take money from you. But if you focus on those two things and mix them together, things get really powerful. And this is when I find drawing for dollars, cold calling niche lists, and Zillow for sub-owners. That's how I came up with it. So let's talk about the last one, the fourth super secret ninja thing about virtual wholesaling that your guru ain't going to talk about and no one's going to talk. I call it the strangest secret about virtual wholesaling real estate. Now, this is a funny one. This is an interesting one. And this is heavily inspired by one of the greatest speakers of all time, Earl Nightingale. And Earl Nightingale is one of the best motivational speakers, self-help people in the 40s and 50s. Great dude. And if you ever any time, go on YouTube one day, hopefully after it's 20 minutes, listen to it in the morning while you're working out, driving, or whatever. It's called The Strangest Secret from Earl Nightingale. And for everyone who's just going to roll their eyes and not watch it, watch the whole 15, 20 minutes. It's great. It's amazing. It's free. You don't have to read, right? But he basically talks about that. I'll give you the gist of it, but only if you guys watch it, okay? And, he already passed away a while ago, but he basically said this, and this is still reigns true today because it is part of human nature. And your knowledge is your wealth in a lot of cases, but the strangest secret he's ever found between successful men and women and non-successful men and women in life, financially, relationships, all these things. It all comes down to your thoughts and what you do every single day. And it sounds super simple. It sounds super simple. But he figured out what he called the strangest secret. And his strangest secret he figured out being successful or not was all you have to do basically is think. This is it. Think and do just like the person you want to become. And just do what they do and think like they do. And eventually you will metamorphosize into that person. Now this has limits, obviously, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, I want to be like Kobe, but I'm 5'4". Like I get it. You're not gonna grow a foot by just doing this, right? But if you do it on ways that aren't, outside of your control, right? Making money. So one thing I'll tell you, okay? I figured this out in wholesaling real estate. And so who is somebody that you look up to, right? And so think of a great wholesalers, great real estate investors, all these people. So let's say you guys follow me, you want to be like me. You want to make the amount of money I make, you want to do all these things, be successful. If you're going to use me as a case study, and I want everybody, use me as a case study. If you go out here and say, I'm going to go from zero to making hundreds of thousands every single month, just like Zach Ginn. And if you want to do it within 4 months, it ain't going to happen. Because you are going to try to mimic my results. And this is my timeline, right? 6 years. You're going to try to do it like this and just compress it. You can't compress it, right? So you have to look at from 0 to like 4 months of my stages, right? I think I'm about 40K there, two or three deals. And you go from here. And so you say, I want to be like Zach, right? So do what I do. And who knows myself better than me, so I can kind of give you the strangest secret from Earl Nightingale for me. And I'm revealing this all to you because I ain't no broke guru. But what did I do starting out? I consistently put bandit signs out. I consistently marketed, and I consistently talked to sellers. And I consistently left school to go on appointments. For if you're high school, I'm getting in trouble saying that, but hey, right? I had straight A's in high school, so don't be mad at me. But that's what I did. And going to college, started cold calling. I cold called 2 to 7 p.m., 5 days a week for a year straight. 5 days a week, 5 hours a day for a year straight. And I didn't give up. I kept a consistent schedule, and I never stopped marketing. I never stopped giving up on myself, and I believed in myself. I never quit. I never surrendered, and I always went forward and became better every single day. And so if you want to be like me, the secret is out there. The truth is, if you want to be like me, do what I did. Think like I did. Think of somebody that will not make excuses. Think of somebody that goes out here and does the work every single day. Think of a person that does not give up. Think of the person that does not care what the other person has to think about themselves. You have to be the person that doesn't care what your friends think about you. You have to be the person that think what your parents think about you and like your family members of what you're doing. A lot of people are self-conscious over that, right? And you just shouldn't care. Now, I'll tell you, all my friends in college in my dorm room, they didn't make fun of me, but like they thought I was crazy. And they've told me like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is nuts. Like, stop. Like, why are you doing this? You don't have to do this. Just chill out. And I always told myself, like, I'm not giving up on my dream. And now, I buy them a bunch of stuff and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, this Zach's the greatest, right? Oh my gosh, I know this guy, right? But the thing is, they didn't ever discourage me from doing what I did, but it was a little weird. And what I can tell you is, not everyone was like that, but like a lot of people in high school were. A lot of high school counselors, a lot of high school teachers. Oh, I don't want to get into some. One day I'll reveal some of the things some people have told me. Insane. I had one high school teacher told me that I should just be a realtor instead. But I'm not even getting into that. But I never gave up on who I was. I never gave up on my values. And I'm lucky to be in a family where, my sister, my mom, my dad, they all believed in me, right? And the only way I could have believed in myself was by actually doing it. And to increase my chances of doing every single day, I went after it, did the hard work. Guys, I'd give up 4 or 5 a.m., just put bandit signs out. I would do it. I'd drive 2 hours just to do it, south, north, east, west. And I did everything possible to get to the point where I'm at now. I had never dreamed I was at the point where I'm at now in my life, but I didn't stop. And so, guys, that's the strangest secret. And I didn't get into the strangest secret about virtual wholesaling, right? So that's Earl Nightingale's approach. That is Earl Nightingale's way of thinking for virtual wholesaling real estate. And so I gave that to you. Okay. Now let's talk about Zach's inspiration from that, right? So I took a lot from that. I really thought about this hard. What is the strangest secret about virtual wholesaling? Not about life, entrepreneurship, making money, things like that. What's the strangest secret about virtual wholesaling? And this is the one thing I want to leave to everybody about getting your first deal, doing everything. And this is the one piece of advice I can give to you, okay? I got to sip this before. I get some decaf coffee for you because this is going to be big, all right? Except the gurus don't want me to say. This is the fourth huge secret. This is the fourth thing nobody ever wants to talk about. The gurus are going to cry for me saying that. Let's talk about it. Number one, strangest secret about virtual wholesaling real estate is you do not reinvent the wheel. I can tell you time in and time out, so many wholesalers out here, virtual wholesaling, local wholesaling, they all the ones that fail, pretty much all try to reinvent the wheel. They all do it. They all try to do everything on their own. They try to make their own concepts of what they think is right in virtual wholesaling. They try to add their own thing and their own, they try to make virtual wholesaling its own thing. They try to become a realtor but they can't be a realtor. So they add realtor, parts of it into wholesaling. They lie to sell it. They do all these things that's not in the standard conformality of wholesaling real estate. I don't know how else to say that, but wholesaling real estate is a very simple process. So many people try to invent new ways to wholesale. And when you start trying to invent new ways to wholesale, you fail. How do I know this? Because it helps so many people go from failing to success. The number one problem I see with people trying to reinvent the wheel is with scripts. Guys, time in and time out. You know what? I see Zach's script. He told me to use this script and use this list. You know what? I'm gonna use this list, but you know what? I like Zach's script, but I think I can do it better than him. Okay. And they make their own script, and it's terrible, terrible. And unfortunately, I would say 5% of scripts that people give me that they make themselves are good. 5%. I've seen 5%. People text me the script. I'm like, you know what? That's actually a good script. Use it. 5%. So you have a 95% failing ratio of making your own script and failing. This is an SMS where you can get like creative with it, but like, it's really sad. It's actually really sad. So do not reinvent the wheel. And why do I say this? Don't reinvent the wheel, make the wheel better. And so I've looked at the best wholesalers, the best virtual wholesalers, people I admire, people I don't admire, but people that they get money, they get results. I've interviewed a lot of millionaires in wholesaling. What do? They all do the same thing as the richest people on earth. The richest wholesalers do the same exact thing as the richest wholesalers. What does this mean? Let me tell you. Jeff Bezos, Henry Ford, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Steve Jobs. All of these people did not reinvent the wheel to get rich. They did not reinvent things. They did not invent pretty much anything. They just had their thing that they were working on and made it better. Let's go down the line. Jeff Bezos, did he create bookstores? No, he didn't create a bookstore, but he added the online element to it and got rich. And then, obviously blew it up and now he owns all this stuff, right? So like he didn't reinvent it, right? He made it better. Henry Ford, he did not create it. I think Carl Benz in Germany created the car. Henry Ford didn't create the car, but he made the Model T. He made the best car possible, blew it up, right? Bill Gates. If you ever see the movie, it's called Pirates of Silicon Valley. Bill Gates has been on record, guys, I study these guys like crazy. He's on record saying he said that is the most cinematic, accurate depiction of his come up from Microsoft. Crazy. Him and Steve Jobs going at it like this. Bill Gates, if you really look how Microsoft really started, Microsoft is at its infancy and at its basically core software. Pretty much all operating systems go through it unless you're on a Mac, right? And you got Linux and all that stuff. But like pretty much all computers go through Windows, right? And Windows starting out, Microsoft is actually kind of funny. What he did is he paid $50,000 for I think a San Francisco software company. He just bought their operating system. He literally bought their software, slapped Microsoft on top of it, and then I think sold part of it to Xerox or started making it. Literally, Microsoft was built off of just buying somebody else's software and then selling it as their own. That is like what, and they obviously he made it amazing, right? But like, that's what it was. And then stole some of Xerox's stuff. Mac did that too. But like, that's what he did. Warren Buffett. Did he invent the stock market? Was he the first? No, but he got really good at it. Boom, did great. Steve Jobs, very, very similar to Bill Gates. He did not invent computers. He just made it a lot better. And so when you look at these men and women, also Elon Musk, let's talk about him. He was not the first. All my guys and gals out here that remember, I think Fiskars, I don't know what they're called, the first electric cars. Elon Musk did not create the first electric car. He made it better. Heck, Elon Musk didn't even invent Tesla. I don't think a lot of people know that. He didn't invent Tesla. He's not even a founder. He bought Tesla, where he went on like years after it started. He didn't even come up with the name. That being said, he went on it and then made it better. So I hope you guys are seeing the reoccurring theme of this. The richest realtor ever, he didn't invent being a realtor. He just made it, he learned it, the process of what it was, and made it better. Guys, think about the iPhone, the most popular phone by revenue and profit. The iPhone, guys, was it the first smartphone ever? No, it was not the first smartphone, but it was a smartphone and made it even better. So I want everybody to understand me watching this. You are not here to reinvent the wheel. You are here to go out here and get rich in wholesaling real estate. So if you learn virtual wholesaling real estate, and then you just make the processes better. That's what I did, and that's what I can tell you to do. Kobe didn't invent basketball. He started playing basketball after, he watched how basketball was being played, with the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird era. And then Michael Jordan came up and it just made a new way of doing basketball. Not a completely new way, but he just improved upon it. And then Larry Bird made it better than when he was kind of older, like the older generation before him. And every generation you watch basketball, they just do it a little better. And the game slightly changes. It's not a different game, it just slightly changes. And then you got who we got now, right? And so when you look at that, football, all these sports, right? It's crazy. And what I tell you, do not have to be this revolutionary wholesaling figure. Like you don't have to like make a new way. I see all these guys trying to make new marketing channels and all these things. And I'm an inventor of marketing channels. I'm not saying I'm the one who coined reverse drawing for dollars, right? Like I can tell you, I'm not the inventor of a lot of these things, but I just made it a lot better. And so I saw drawing for dollars and made it better, added reverse drawing for dollars on top of that. And so what I can tell everybody watching this video is learn virtual wholesaling, get really good at it, and then build the processes and become better at it. Be like Michael Jordan, right? Learn basketball, get good at basketball, and then just get better than everybody else at it. And then that's how you get rich. And how do you do that? What is the strangest secret for virtual wholesaling real estate? You do that, you just learn the game, and you get better 1% every day. Once you do it for 6, 7, 8, 9 years, there's nobody in your market that could even get close to you for skill set wise. And that is how you actually become a champion in wholesaling real estate, the richest wholesaler possible. You just get really good at it. And the only secret to doing that is through hard work and dedication. So guys, that is how you get your first wholesaling real estate deal. Do those marketing methods, go out here and work your butt off, get good at it, do the work, and you'll become a wholesaling real estate master.